So your GCSE English Language Paper 1 is coming up on Monday, and you're in crucial need of those final tips to help you fine-tune technique. I'm going to use my experience of 18 years helping pupils get A stars and grade 9s in GCSE English Language. I'm going to talk through individual questions from the paper within this short video and give you my last minute tips on helping you hoover up all those extra marks. So stay tuned because you're watching Schofield on Shakespeare.
Não diz que sou eu.
To say that time is of the essence in this paper and this section would be a colossal understatement. Here are some timings that I came up with my own class. Our feeling is that section B is more about quality than quantity, and that 50 minutes will be sufficient to write a beautifully crafted piece. Press pause then if you want to jot these timings down. It is so tempting to get into an exam hall, feel that you have mastered exam technique, and start writing sooner than you should. Let's be clear, exam technique is bloody useless unless you have fully understood the extracts. In this video, I will refer to the questions and texts from the June 2018 past paper. You will get more out of this video if you read or reread these texts again now. They're about to appear at 4-second intervals.
Question number 1.
Question 1 is intended to be easy and completed quickly. A phrase is fine for 1A. Make sure that your two ways in B are clearly distinct. And I would use your own words when it tells you to explain. If it wants you to only use a quotation, it will tell you.
Question 2.
We feel within my class that it's safer to go for 4 similarities rather than 3, meaning that if the marker doesn't quite agree with one of them, you can still get the full 6 marks. Remember that the mark scheme says that your response needs to be detailed, showing a perceptive understanding. Although you could argue this is contradicted slightly by the suggested points within the indicative content section of the mark scheme. How can the point that both texts refer to an encounter with ants be described as particularly detailed or perceptive? Nonetheless, just keep within your mind the idea that each similarity should be as specific as possible.
Question 3.
Within question 3, make sure that you refer to the correct section of the text. I've often been surprised how the most intelligent of pupils can write terrific analysis within this section of the paper on the wrong section. Just quickly box the section on your inserts and write Q3 in the margin. What makes this harder than the equivalent question for some other exam boards is that analysis of both language and structure needs to be reasonably well balanced, say 60% for language, 40% for structure. Signpost your structural analysis by starting a sentence with structurally, comma. Here are the suggested points for structure from the indicative content section of the mark scheme. Here's an example of a grade 9 paragraph exploring language, which I wrote. And here's an example of a grade 9 paragraph exploring structure. Structurally, Bert's enthusiasm for the natural world is seen within the two exclamative sentences. What an exotic and beautiful world! How complete and well formed! These sentences come soon after a complex sentence, which contains details about the movement of ants within their nest. Both exclamative sentences are very short and do not contain a verb. This highlights how intensely Bert has become enthused and fascinated by the intricacy of the ants' movements and actions. However, the text shows how this fascination grows beyond ants, with the subsequent paragraph containing a long list of other animals that Bert brings into his house, including a human flea, which is kept as a guest. This noun is typically used to describe polite, courteous behaviour from a host to other humans. The fact that it is used to refer to a flea confirms that Bert now loves the natural world so much that he treats every kind of creature he comes across with interest and curiosity.
Question 4.
For question 4, never just blindly agree. It asks you, how far do you agree? So interrogate the question. Agree to some extent to some aspects of the question, but wonder slightly about another aspect and how true that part of the statement is. Within the mark scheme, remember that although you need to use embedded quotations, you do not need to include AO2 analysis, close exploration of meaning and effects of individual words, unless you feel it results in an improved, more intelligent evaluation of the statements. In relation to the 6 marks, the comparisons need to be detailed and interwoven. So pit the texts against each other. Towards the end of each paragraph, start evaluating which one is more powerful in relation to the statement or results in you most agreeing with the statement. One of my past pupils wrote this paragraph. Looking back, I delightedly gave him 12 out of 12 and 6 out of 6 for his response as a whole.
With the exam on Monday, these have been your last minute crucial tips to get you over the line to the grade of your dreams. Yes, this has been Schofield on Shakespeare.